You're watching the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, here with some rumors and news around America's team. We'll begin with some discussion today on Jalen Smith. Can he be fixed? I want to give it 4 stars. I don't know. 2 stars on this one. Bob Sturm over at The Athletic has done two really good pieces on film study, breakdown Jalen, what went right, what went wrong. There's a lot that went wrong, right? In the end and overall, the reality is that Smith struggled. There's no way around it. And I think that the root cause of those things is that Jalen was never comfortable nor confident. And that's a problem when you're a defensive captain. There were a lot of times out there that Jalen Smith guesses wrong, and the safeties, who are also young and inexperienced, go, oh, he's probably right. And now everyone's out of position. It was not all Jalen's fault this year. But there were bad run fits. There were missed assignments. There's the eye candy that I swear gets him almost every single time. A lack of doing a good job of taking on blockers. And this is problematic because 2018 Jalen Smith played great. And then he wasn't as good in 2019. And then I think the bottom might have fallen out this year in 2020. So the reality is Jalen Smith regressed. And he's expensive. And now the Cowboys are in an awkward position. Do you roll it back with Jalen Smith for one more year and hope that having Dan Quinn and having, in theory, better defensive line play makes Smith play better? I think that's very possible. Does he recapture the 2018 form? If he plays like he did in 2018, honestly, it's kind of a team-friendly contract. If he plays like he did in 2020, you want to cut him and move on as soon as possible to save $7 million. Yes, he had 154 tackles, but that's a volume stat. And not only that, guess what? If you're taking the mindset of, hey, we want to have success on offense, you're going to throw and run to the guy who struggled at it. So don't look at the tackles too much. There's often a direct correlation between not great linebacker play and high tackles because they're getting hit downfield and making plays way beyond the line of scrimmage. You want tackles for loss and splash plays, and those have dipped for Jalen since 2018. So what do you guys want to do here? Do you want to give Jalen Smith another shot? Type in 1 for yes you do, or 0 for no, I want to bail. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, go take advantage of that. Scroll down to the pinned comment, that's what this question is, and type your 1 or 0. Let's talk Kellen Moore, who will not be the Eagles' next head coach because they hired Nick Sirianni. Did he have a poor interview? I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I actually buy it, mostly because the people who determine a poor interview are the people conducting the interview. So if Kellen Moore shows up and the Eagles go, hey, can you fix Carson Wentz? Also give us the Cowboys playbook. And he says no to either of those. Guess what the Eagles say? He interviewed poorly. Like, the perception of how the interviewee does is from the organization in charge. I'm willing to bet that Kellen Moore was like, yeah, I don't want Carson Wentz. He was washed this year. I think the Eagles are heavily committed to keeping Carson Wentz, and I think that's why they went with Nick Sirianni. There's a reason they went with a young, inexperienced, non-play caller as their head coach. The Eagles' job, simply put, guys, was not appealing. That's why they interviewed Kellen Moore, because he's not prepared to be a head coach yet. Going through that interview process was a good thing. In the end, I'm glad he interviewed poorly or whatever. I didn't want to lose him to Philadelphia. You don't want to lose your play caller. Kellen Moore might not be a good head coach. He is a good play caller, though. I think that matters. So do you guys care at all if Kellen Moore did interview poorly? Why for yes and for no? I really don't. Doesn't really matter to me in the end. I would rather have a situation where my OC sticks around, however that ends up being the result. So no, I don't really care that much. But get your votes in here. Why for yes and for no? Now, we got some deals for you guys on today's show, including one from our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you see on screen. That is Cowboys125. It gets you 125% deposit bonus. I'm going to give you guys 2 things today. One for free, one if you sign up and deposit with BetUS. The first one is some free advice on some picks this week, all right? Same bets I made earlier. The value has changed a bit because you should have gotten in when I told you. Packers spread and Chiefs spread. $10 parlay to to win $26.05. Free investment there. I went 3 for 4 last week. Give me the favorites this week. Chatsports.com/bet. And if you head over to BetUS, you use that promo code, and you put down $100 for a limited time only, we're bringing back the jersey deal. Dak Prescott is available. Email us, cowboys@chatsports.com. I will make sure that email is in the comments and in the description. So if you have questions or if you have a deposit and you just want to claim it, email us, cowboys@chatsports.com. As a reminder, this is only available for new BetUS customers. So if you did it before, sorry guys, you can't get multiple jerseys from us. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys125. Put down at least $100 to get the deposit bonus and the jersey. It's a fantastic value. Let's talk trade now. How about trading a second-round pick for Jeffrey Okuda? Oh, man. Who says no, right? This seems like a brilliant idea. No, this is fake news. Reset it, producer Methuselah. It's been 0 days, ladies and gentlemen, since our last nonsense, because this is stupid. Don't get me wrong. I would love to acquire Jeffrey Okuda. He was the number 3 overall pick last year, the consensus best corner in the draft. So when FanSided puts together the, how about this trade package? Are we dumb? The answer is yes, of course. A second-round pick and a conditional pick, which is implied to be a third round or a day 3 pick. Why would the Lions do this? This makes 0 sense from their perspective. Guys, I have to emphasize this because I know most of you are smart, but you got Cowboys media out there that's just dumb sometimes. Guys, you cannot get the good players for your trash. Like, I am sorry. That is not how things operate. Now, look, Jeffrey Okuda was not good this year. He was very banged up. The Lions, who, by the way, still want another corner because the other guys were also bad, even though Okuda played poorly in year 1 at a position that's normally very difficult to adjust to in the NFL, and Diggs outplayed him, guys, there's 0 chance in any reality out there, except for the one where Okuda is currently under legal investigation, in which the Detroit Lions are moving on from the number 3 overall pick for a barely top 50 pick and a later day 3 conditional. Now, of course, Okuda's not under investigation, just so we're clear on that. But it's not happening. This is stupid. Like, what this, and then the source was, oh, they might move to safety, was a speculative fanboy article. Come on, guys. We can be smarter than this. I would love to get Okuda. It starts with offering the number 10 overall pick. You're not getting him for your second rounder. Let's be smarter, guys. Come on. Now, if you want to be smarter, hit the big red button and subscribe, because we're going to keep you updated. We're going to tell you how it actually is, at least how we think it is. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, but we're not going to have bad takes like the Okuda one. So if you want to stay updated and be the smartest guy in the room full of your Cowboys fan friends or Eagles fans if you're behind enemy lines, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's talk CeeDee Lamb then. No more punts for him. Maybe 2 stars on this one. I don't hate the idea of taking him off punt return duties. I do think, though, there is value of having somebody dynamic back there. And beyond your top receivers, and since Tony Pollard is a kick return guy, you don't really have anybody else out there. Cedric Wilson's kind of more of a fair catch guy. So I still want impactability on punt returns. And Lamb, there wasn't any touchdowns, but over 7 yards per return is not that bad for considering how often you have to call fair catches. There were some bigger returns, of course. Not included is the kick return onside kick touchdown, because that's not a punt return. But you cannot ignore the potentiality of an injury risk at receiver. Now, I would argue, hey, the odds of getting injured playing return man and receiver are the same, and you're getting more touches for a dynamic playmaker. That's worthwhile to me. But we had the same conversation last year. The Cowboys said, no, we'll keep him on punt returns. So for now, especially with having Amari Cooper on this roster and having an actual additional, I should say, number 1 receiver, I'm fine with it. But what do you guys want to do? Do you want to keep CeeDee Lamb on punt returns? Type A for yes, you do, or type B for, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to get somebody else back there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's talk Mike McCarthy now. Is he on the hot seat? Entering, of course, 2021. I'm going to give it 3 stars. I think that's pretty likely. And look, this year, I was never really on the you got to fire McCarthy thing. I would have been had they ended up finding a way to lose a critical game against the Bengals, for example. But I think this makes the most sense in terms of giving McCarthy a little bit more time. Setting him up in a position where the Cowboys don't have to, or actually want to win games next year, right? Now, look, McCarthy's past couple years, this is a bit of a red flag. We're 2-10 in 6 years, and then 7 wins, you get fired after a 4-7-1 start, and 6 wins. 2020, though, I'd argue that was much more of a wash. Year 1 was a disappointment due to injuries and defensive failures. But you were playing Andy Dalton in the backup offensive line. Shoot, if you had Garrett, I think you win like 3 or 4 games this year. So having McCarthy was an upgrade as far as I'm concerned. Now, if you miss the playoffs this year, in 2021, and everyone's healthy and all of that, I think you got to really consider it. Depends on how we get to that point. But if it's the coaching's fault, yeah, probably time to move on. So how hot is Mike McCarthy's seat in 2021? Rate this for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you think it's very cool, but if they don't win a game, then okay, yeah, you probably got to move on from him. If you think it's scalding hot and you want him gone today, make it a 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Still want to get a quick note in here on another coaching staff move, I guess I'll call it. New strength and conditioning coordinator Harold Nash has been promoted to that role. He helped run things for the Cowboys from that perspective once Markus Paul tragically passed away. He's held the same title in the past with both the Patriots and the Detroit Lions, so they're just promoting him. He was on the staff this past year in a more minor capacity before Paul passed away, so this makes sense. Keep it consistent. Keep it with someone McCarthy knows and trusts and all of that. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Cowboys. I don't know how much of an impact it's really going to end up having on the players. Yeah, there were some injuries last year. Most of those were freak injuries or, the players didn't show up in shape. So I'm fine with it. We'll see what other moves the Cowboys make in the near future with some defensive positions still to be filled on that side of the ball staff.